So the first window we're going to have a look at is the edit window. So in order to get back there, we can either go to window and select edit, or we can use the keyboard shortcut command and equals. So I'm going to try that here now. Command and equals flicks me back to the edit window, and that will also bring me back to the mix window. So that's a very useful shortcut to have to quickly get back and forth between the two. And you'll find as we go along, Pro Tools is made a lot easier by using many of the keyboard short commands, which I'll tell you as we go through. So the edit window provides a timeline display of all your audio clips, your MIDI clips, if you have some video in there, and also your mixer automation. What we're looking at here, I have a couple of tracks of just a drum kit. And so these are what we call audio waveforms. They're a graphical representation of the audio that was recorded in through the interface into the Pro Tools session. So the edit window works from left to right, if you think of it that way. Time starts here at 000 and plays through like that. So if I just go back to the start of the session by pressing return on my keyboard, or I can actually press return to 0 here on the transport window, and I can hit play or spacebar to begin playback. Okay, so we've that's a multi-track recording of one performance of a drum kit captured with multiple microphones. In this example, one on the kick drum, snare drum, on the toms, and 2 overhead microphones. So this area of the screen is referred to as the playlist, or the track playlist. And that means this is the area that the audio is going to play back from left to right. In the playlist, this is where we do all our editing, such as selecting, chopping, moving, copying over. We'll go through all these edit commands, but this is where all that happens. Up here at the top of the edit page, we have what we call the toolbar area, where I've got many of my different editing tools in order to carry out all the editing commands. Hence, we are on the edit page. I also have some of my session time readout here, and a mini version of the transport control, which I found in the transport window. Underneath that, I have what we call the timeline display area. And you can see I have a couple of different timeline displays on show here at the moment. It's showing bars and beats at the top. It's also giving me a readout in minutes and seconds, and also samples. Remember earlier on we talked about sampling rate. Well, this window would actually show how many samples have elapsed since the start of the session. But for what we're going to be doing, bars and beats and minutes and seconds are probably the two main timeline rulers that we will be using. And then either side of the edit window, we have what we call the edit window side columns. We have one which is a track list showing all the tracks in my current session, and I can activate or deactivate them as I need to. Underneath that, I have a groups section which allows me to combine a number of tracks together into an edit group, so as I can apply the same edit commands to that number of tracks all at the same time. And over on my right hand side here, I've got what we call the clip list. So every single piece of audio or MIDI that I either record into my session or that I import into the session ends up in the clip list here. So even if I take one of these audio clips here, let's say the kick drum, I select it, I'm going to delete it by hitting backspace on my keyboard. And the good thing about Pro Tools and the clip list is that is not deleted forever. It's still here. And I can delete it again and just bring it back out again. So everything that I do in regards to recording or importing audio or MIDI or video ends up and stays in the clip list. So all my assets that I'm dealing with in the session are here.